monarchy. Okay.
Necronomicon. And look, I wore this book out. Favorite book. Crowley. Not saying everybody should follow Crowley. You know what I'm saying? That's a crossroad which you have to do a lot to achieve just a pinch of what he did. But the Necronomicon, from the 50 names of Marduk, from the Mountains of Marshu ritual, from Cthulhu, you know, those are Djinn, powerful Djinn. Now they say that Necronomicon book's a fake book, give or take. That's what they tell you. They're not gonna tell you that it really works. But I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a dangerous book, man. Very dangerous, highly dangerous. Because that brings me off to the Red Djinn, the book of Red Djinn, to a lot of other Djinn books, to oh my goodness. Even the Quran. And the Quran, don't get me wrong, I don't disrespect no books. But before I knew certain rules about the Quran, I had my experience with Djinn in my Quran. You know, and no disrespect to anybody out there, it's a technology for me. And as being technology, like it's like a Arjan, a professor, a scientist for me, but with belief in it. Belief without doing damage to anybody, knowing what works and what doesn't work. That's like my calling in it, but sharing it, not to everybody, but expressing it in my reality for me to see it work, and it affects people like a cold in a good way, positive thinking, positive notions, but from that primordial conscience that's telling you these things. Hey, try this, it'll work. What do you mean? Just do it. And that's exactly how it works. It's like you talking, but it's over talking you within your head. But it's like you and I talking, conversating, but it's at a level where it conversates like this, like, damn, don't think about what I'm saying, just do it. Okay, and I do it. And it works. You hear a little giggle, you don't hear from it for a long time. But the thing was, when you don't, I mean,
yeah, when I'm listening to you, it's sort of, I picked up it from the very beginning that essentially, I said to you in the beginning, I said when I introduced you that there's like a lot of ancestral power there. Yes. A lot of ancestral power. And
thank you.
When did you find, when could you tune into that? Did that happen early, or is that something you developed?
Okay, now I might need your help on this one. Everybody's help if they can leave a comment with it. Now, at the age of 14, at the age of 60, I'm gonna be honest. In this room here, because I'm back home, I left for 30 years and eventually came back home. Before I left my home here, I had a full house, cousins, grandmas, grandpas, everything. 25, 30 years later, I come back home and it's just me. No family, family dies off. I have cousins, everybody, but it's just me. And we do have family reunions. What family's left? They don't invite me. You know why? Mr. Mojo, the voodoo doctor. You know, it's bad, you know, but they don't want to be around me. They don't want no bad luck. But I'm going to be honest, they come to me for lotto numbers. Yo, can you just do this for me? Can you try this for me? Make it wish. I need somebody cursed or something. I won't do it. I won't do it. And if I say I did do it, I didn't do it. Okay, I did it just so they can, but I wouldn't do it because the karma is not on them. It's on me. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a reward from them, send my things out to go do something. And then if somebody has some type of protection out there, my luck changes because whatever I sent out didn't work and it got damaged. So now they're going to kick my ass for doing something wrong. Because I thought I was that man that had that supreme ghost that can knock everything out like Mike Tyson, which never happens. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather be with the number one instead of being number one. Because when you're on top, you're going to have to fight to stay on top. And believe me, there's always somebody down there that's better than you and they'll never say nothing.
Well, as above us below, however you are, you create your own nemesis, unfortunately. I mean,
Yes.
this is. I mean, I don't want to talk about politics because I don't believe in politics on any level. Okay.
Okay.
I think it's a theatre, but that's my viewpoint. I may be right, I may be wrong. That's all I think
I
it
agree
is.
with you.
But the one thing that I do understand is if you create a system, then you automatically create something which will attack that system on some level. Yeah? Okay?
Yes.
So if we look at like America a few years ago, really nothing was happening. It was the same story. And then what appeared to be out of the blue, Mr. Trump arrived. I'm not a fan of Mr. Trump. I don't like him. I don't dislike him. But he is the antithesis of what these guys were on the surface. And I believe it's exactly the same as what you're saying with magic. If you're going out setting fires, you're going to attract something that likes to set fires, and it's going to come looking for you. And I think that's something that people should really get into their heads. You start setting fires, that thing that likes fire is going to come looking for you. Would you agree?
And yeah, it'll attach itself to you. Like, okay, remember the picture I sent you? Me smoking and the smoke. Now, the image in that picture, did you see the picture of that?
Yeah.
Okay, now, remember what you said? Djinn King. Now, if you look at the picture really good. Now, look, I'm glad I met you.
Really good. You can see the face there. 100%.
I have it here. Want me to take it off the wall so I can show it?
No, it's okay. I'm going to plug it. I'm going to put it in the video.
Okay. Okay, now look. Now, at the bottom of that picture, you said, hey, you're a Djinn King. Remember you said that to me?
Yeah.
Okay, now, Brian, mind you, that's why I say you're a special person. Now, I had that picture last year, like about 11 months ago. And I said, Djinn King, why would you call me that? Now, I looked at the bottom of that picture, right? Now, look at the bottom of that picture on the right-hand side at the center of the picture. There's an initial in that smoke. And guess what the initial is?
No, that's remind me.
The letter J and the letter K.
Djinn King.
And look, Djinn King. But you said that, and I'm looking at my picture, and I looked. Me and my brother, he was like, yo, come here, look at that. What that? I said, yo. He said, what did that look like to you? I said, look like a J and a K. He said, yeah. He said, your boy Brian. He said, yeah, he the truth. I said, yeah, for real? And I looked at it, and if you look at it, and people can look at it when you show it, it's a J and a K there, and there was a picture of Djinn. And those are, I call it air, those air Djinn, air elementals. Because you see it in the air. And I have a couple of pictures of certain things, but that's one of the most, I have a new one for you. See, messing with you. I got a new one. And this cauldron, after I'm being honest with you. Hey, look, I'm glad I met you, man. I'm glad you chose me to be a part of your line of friends. After I met you, okay, I went dormant for a while because I plateaued myself. I plateaued myself. And I got, I don't know if you get like this or anybody do you get sick, like physically sick when you can't find information on your technology of forbidden word?
I think the trouble is this is much more complicated. People open their third eye, okay?
Okay.
And it goes back to your analogy of sliding into hell. When you open your third eye, you can never go back. All right? So if you're not feeding that deep spirit, if you're not feeding that eternal you, that you that will always be there, then essentially you will suffer physically. There is no two ways round about it. You may have a string of bad luck. It doesn't matter. I'm not God. I can't tell you how you will suffer. You may suffer by illness. You may suffer by other means. But the point is, once you've committed to opening that third eye, then you have to feed it with knowledge. You have to feed that soul with knowledge. And if you don't feed that soul with knowledge, then you will suffer the consequences. And that's essentially, I think, what you're talking about.
Yeah, listen, you're so right, man. Look, I made a lot of wrong U-turns dealing with the occult. And I'm being honest. Like I said, being attacked isn't nothing you want to mess with. And this is how it works with me. Because, listen, it's more real than here. Like like the true stories I'm gonna tell you. When I tell you, when you mess with something, certain things that I have that I locked up and put in Dybbuk boxes and waxed it and sealed it, threw it at the bottom of the closet, threw clothes, everything on top of it, because no one would take it and I wouldn't want to give it to nobody because of what I did and what I got out of it. And listen, I documented it. I wrote it down. It's crazy, date by date, piece by piece. True stories I'm gonna tell you, and it's listen, it's scary. You like if people really not ready for Djinn, and I'll tell you the dark side of it because I'm more into the dark side because there's only two types of Djinn that I know: nice and evil. Everything else falls under the category of Djinn for me: ghosts, leprechauns, werewolves, vampires, fairies, boogeymen, whatever. Those are Djinn on another level of different names from different cultures of people. But Djinn it's only three things: angels, Djinn, and humans. Besides that, Djinn has the most category as entities within it because it's unseen. Anything unseen is a Djinn. Besides a title of a main Djinn, an Ifrit or a Marid or whatever's in that Quran book, and not even a Quran book because nothing's ever accurate. You know, I'm not going to label anything.
No, you're absolutely right. If somebody writes a book, right, it doesn't matter who you are, even consciously or unconsciously, you put your agenda into it. Okay?
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. It doesn't matter what you write, you will put your agenda into it. So, yeah, but the thing is that's where your spirituality comes into it. And you have to ask yourself, is it true for me?
Djinn Illuminated is a new book by Brian Barrott. It's the result of a lifetime study in occultism. Barrott has worked with adepts in India, Africa, and the Yemen. This book allows the reader access to the Djinn. Everything within its pages is authentic. This book has been reviewed by occultists such as J.S. Garrett, who believes it's one of the best books ever written on the subject of Djinn. It's also been reviewed by Sufi masters, namely German Quedo Myers, who believes this is a really good book. Moreover, Christine Hart, Sunday Times best-selling author, she writes, "This book is wonderful, a glorious read. It's not for nothing. Brian Barrett has been called the Djinn Master. If you want fame, if you want a better relationship, if you want spiritual awakening, Djinn Illuminated is available on Kindle."